Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moonride. This is Dave Johnson, and I'm channeling the man in the moon today. I'm going to talk about the January 6th commission. You're probably all watching as I make this video. I actually made a video earlier on to sort of predict what they would say, and as fate would have it, that video did not work out. So I'm kind of getting the message from the universe. This usually happens for a reason. Maybe the point is not to predict what will happen, but to talk about the real meaning of this commission, right? So I just would like to know, first of all, what's the meaning of this? I'm seeing a sort of pyramid that's cut in half. And on one half, that's like layers are coming off of the surface. So I kind of think about it, there are a bunch of people whose minds are not going to change, right? That's just that. The purpose of the commission is not necessarily to change anybody's mind, right? We can't look at this strictly as a pragmatic, we do something, we get our result. It's not a business. This is our government. And when we see it, we have an obligation and intention to find out the truth. That is the point of the commission. So I hope this will help all of you to not be disappointed. If everything doesn't change and 100% of America doesn't start to agree, that's just going to frustrate the heck out of you. This is not the point. The point is for all of us to see the details of how this happened, for history to know the details of how this happened. Once the cat's out of the bag, the truth is out, and generations after us can see that truth, including the next generation, which will be important in leading us into the future. We are, and this is, again, it's for you to watch. This is your government, and you deserve to see it in action. You deserve to see it doing the right thing. There are Republicans on the panel who are doing the right thing. But this is for you to be able to know your government is just, and your government is seeking the truth, and your government is showing you the details of its work, how it operates, and its conclusions. So as you watch this, don't forget, this is for you, every individual out there who's watching. This is, it doesn't need to have any more meaning than you getting the truth from the people that you elected and from the government that you pay taxes to. Even if not another person hears it, you might think of, I think it's Copernicus who was locked in his house when he said that the earth went around the sun, right? Most people didn't believe him, but some people did. And we now know, of course, that he was right, and the Pope that locked him away was wrong. It need have no more meaning than that. But let's see if there's anything beyond this, just peeling off of the layers. Again, do not worry about the group of people who will not believe. They're never going to believe. They're never going to change their minds. However, I am seeing that there are centrist people, and I'm just going to contradict myself here. There are centrist people in the middle who will be influenced by the details that they see. It's going to be hard for them not to watch. It's going to be hard for them not to talk about. And again, these are the people in the center who, maybe sometimes vote Republican, sometimes vote Democrat, who maybe are not particularly progressive in a lot of ways, but they are still a person who, if you put them on a jury and you show them the facts, they will follow the facts. It's important not to judge others in that sense, but also it's very important to know that, again, I know that I'm contradicting myself. It will change the dial a little bit. And maybe that's only 2% of the American public. That, again, is not important, the numbers. It's important that the truth is out there and it matters. It does change the dial a little bit. And I'm getting the feeling that it's more than a little bit. Maybe there's 5% of kind of centrist lefts who we're not so certain, who will have much more conviction. They will go out and vote. They are going to care about this matter. That is a significant number, right? 5% of the left not voting will make a huge difference in the next election. Usually people don't vote in these midterm elections. But the other thing is there is a percentage of people who are, just barely on the right. Perhaps they, voted for Clinton, for example, Bill, but didn't vote for Hillary, for example. But those people, and maybe I'm getting like 4%, maybe those people are also moved. And I'm going to say more than maybe, I think those people are moved. So again, it might seem like only 4%, but if we include that with the, 5% of the centrist left, that's a 10% of the population. So I'm hoping I'm clear here. As you watch these videos, as you watch the commission, don't become involved in the anger and the fight. I'm going to convince somebody now. That's not going to help you. They're either convinced or they are not convinced. But at the same time, I believe that the commission, I'm seeing now that it's not just that it matters now. Like maybe a few percentage points move before the next election. But actually, I do see in the long term, maybe it's even a whole generation, a greater percentage of people than 4%, what would be considered the right. It's just increases over time as the sort of reality sinks in. Understand that we don't want to have sort of Schadenfreude and be like, ha, Republicans, we showed you, that's not a healthy way of being. But if you are moved emotionally by this, you can be absolutely certain that they are. That's important in a lot of senses. It's also important in the sense that those people can't help but watching. They're going to watch. They are going to know the details. They're going to find out, and they might have an internal battle trying to justify all these things. And that is up to them. That is their battle. But you can know that it's not only you who are being emotionally triggered by this. They are too. You and I, we are going to need to process these feelings. I understand that one of the problems is that, people on the right wing, they're just not able to process feelings. The feelings are controlling them and motivating, they have a feeling the election was stolen, so it's motivating them. And, the feeling is in control of them. If we are to be any different, we want to notice that we have some strong feelings about this, but we can process them, understand them in relationship to ourselves. That is the benefit to being on the left, benefit to understanding that this is a movement towards the divine feminine. Patience, be patient with yourself in processing that. Be patient in understanding that there's a whole portion of the population that just, they simply were not raised to process contradictions or to know where these feelings of rage and anger are coming from. It's helpful if you are, draw a line, but are also sympathetic. Who knows what people experience in their childhood that drives them to deny the facts? We don't know. This is for you, right? This is your government at work, and we're not fighting crazy wars. We are doing what a government should do, and that is investigating this in a bipartisan fashion so that it can be sent to the courts. That's all we can do right now. Next, of course, we will put pressure on certain people and be motivated to vote and, be ready to talk about the details. Do not waste your time arguing with someone who can't be convinced. That is just going to drive them further into ego, right? You can, however, perhaps ask some interrogative questions. Do you think people who might be open to this, or who might, at least consider the facts? Don't attack never works. There's a trick, and it's like, no, there's a bunch of people you can't talk to. There are some people that you can talk to, and you have to be really gentle about that. And then there's the rest of the people who you can just go, wow, look at this stuff. And they pretty much agree with you. And, that is kind of helpful to know that others do agree with you. You're not the only one who thinks this. Notice there are a lot of people who agree, a lot of people who are dealing with these facts and who know exactly what they mean. Can we know any more about the meaning of this? Part of this is about us finding ourselves, and about democracy finding itself, right? A democracy is not just a static and frozen thing. It has to keep going. It has to evolve. So I know people will say, "Oh, America's over. This just shows how over it is." I don't necessarily believe that. Obviously, America isn't going to be so primary as it was, and hey, that's just okay. But understand that, we are, and I say we, I mean, the United States are in some sense the primary democracy. It's not necessarily the best one, but, it has the most experience at this point in history. It has to argue with itself. If it doesn't argue with itself, it isn't evolving. It's the tension between this disagreement. It is the subtlety of knowing who you can convince and who you can't convince. It is also important for us who do believe the truth to help each other, to comfort each other, to let each other know that, it's okay, you have these feelings and you're right, and this is injustice. That's also key too. So it is nice to sit around with like-minded people and go, yeah, you see, it's totally okay if you do that. You should revel in this, revel in the idea that at least whatever our problems are in the United States, whatever our problems are as human race, as a planet, at least there are these people from both sides of the aisle who are doing their best to find the truth. It is not much political benefit, certainly not a political benefit, to Liz Cheney or Ratzinger. I always forget how to say his name, but he has already retired. He doesn't even hope to win. He has sacrificed his career to go for the truth. And you could say that about a lot of people on the left. They've worked really hard to get the truth out to you with, we don't know what benefits. So revel in the idea that at least our government is functioning in a really primary way. It is attempting to get to the truth. What American people choose to do with the truth may be another matter. And you and I are limited people. We can go only so far. But you and I are also looking at this saying, well, what can we do? How can I get back to my community? How can I work to justice? How can I have a belief in something? And even though that's contradictory to another's belief, I can still show respect, not condemn those people, but know in my heart and hearts of this is the truth. We are evolving. You are evolving. Our society is evolving, whether you live in the United States or not. The planet is evolving. And it is evolving because it is asking these questions. It is demanding these conclusions. Again, pat yourself on the back. This would not have been possible if you and I and a lot of other people hadn't stuck together and made sure that Trump lost. We also stuck together and made sure we have just barely a majority in Congress, but we do have one. That's thanks to you. It's thanks to me. It's thanks to all of us seeing a problem in our society and pulling out all the stops to solve it. even though that might not have benefited you or I directly, we still do it because we believe in democracy. We believe in treating others with respect. Don't forget to pat yourself on the back. Thanks so much for watching.